Azerbaijan and Iran have deep historical and cultural ties, and the two countries share a border stretching for about 760 kilometers. Since Azerbaijan gained independence in 1991, relations between Baku and Tehran have remained cordial, but sometimes difficult. In 1992, a war broke out, followed by Armenia's occupation of lands that Azerbaijan had controlled for nearly 30 years. However, the occupation of territory belonging to another Muslim country did not upset Iran, which seemed to take a position closer to Armenia. The Iranian position during this period was not well accepted by Azerbaijan. In the fall of 2020, when large-scale hostilities erupted, Azerbaijan inflicted a humiliating defeat on the Armenian side and regained the greater part of its territory. Iran, for its part, remained silent, and only took a clearer stance towards the end of the conflict by declaring that the disputed territories belonged to Azerbaijan. This war has brought to the surface many of the issues that trouble Iran. It is noteworthy that Azerbaijan's victory against Armenia was met with great celebrations by ethnic Azeris in Iran, who went out in demonstrations in several cities to express their support for Azerbaijan, in addition to their demand to close the Iranian-Armenian border. On the other hand, estimates of the number of Azeris inside Iran vary between 15 and 25 million, out of a total population of about 85 million. Most of them are concentrated in parts of the northwest of the country, and Tabriz and Urmia are major Azeri cities, to the extent that some refer to this region not as northern Iran, but southern Azerbaijan. Given this context, the Iranian authorities did not like the issue of the rise of nationalist sentiments among the Azeris. It should be noted, in this regard, that Turkey's contribution to Azerbaijan's war efforts played a major role in the latter's victory. The war further cemented the already close ties between the two Turkish states, which are often referred to as one nation in two states. Certainly, Tehran did not like much the scene of the victory marches in Baku, with the participation of units of the Turkish army, while the leaders of the two countries stood next to each other at the podium. Also, Israel was among the other countries that contributed to Baku's victory. Azerbaijan and Israel have built close relations with each other over the years. Earlier, President Ilham Aliyev declared that his country's relations with Israel are very diverse and are particularly strong in the defense field. These relations have alarmed Tehran. Besides, the war had repercussions on Iranian commercial activities. Throughout the period of occupation of Karabakh, Iran used to transport food, fuel, and other materials to Karabakh, Armenia and other parts of West Asia without being hindered by anything through the occupied Azeri territories. But this whole situation changed when Azerbaijan regained control of these lands, This is due to the damage to Iranian transportation routes. Despite Iran's desire to continue as if nothing had happened, Azerbaijan was keen to remind it that circumstances have now changed. However, the Iranians did not pay attention to the matter, and there are rumors indicating that they tried to cheat and deceive to continue their previous activities by placing Armenian plates on Iranian cars. In contrast, Azerbaijan, as a sovereign state, has continued to impose restrictions, in addition to imposing a road tax on Iranian trucks moving through its territory. In the course of implementing these measures, some Iranian truck drivers were arrested. There was a case in which drugs and heroin were confiscated. For its part, the Azerbaijani authorities expressed concern about the possible transfer of military equipment. As for Iran, it must have felt pressures on it on several fronts, especially at home, as well as what it considers its backyard. She revealed her shock and showed her willingness to move. Iranian Foreign Minister Hossein Amir Abdollahian declared his objection to the presence of the Zionist entity near its borders. Referring to the tripartite military exercises between Turkey, Azerbaijan, and Pakistan hosted by Baku in September under the title Three Brothers 2021, the Iranian Foreign Ministry announced, "These military exercises violate international agreements that prohibit the military presence of countries outside the 5 bordering countries." Caspian Sea. In October, Iran began military exercises along its border with Azerbaijan. The commander of the Iranian ground forces also expressed his country's rejection of the presence of the Zionist state, Israel, near its borders. He also expressed his concern about the presence of fighters from Syria who he claimed fought on the side of Azerbaijan during the war around Karabakh. The Azerbaijani response was calm, and during an interview with the Turkish Anadolu Agency, President Ilham Aliyev expressed his astonishment at the Iranian reactions and measures. On the other hand, other major regional powers, notably Turkey and Russia, remained silent. Apparently, the two countries are following the tensions between Iran and Azerbaijan and expect them to subside over time on their own. Apparently, the problems on the ground are overestimated. With regard to the issue of transportation, all that is required is adapting to the new conditions on the ground and respecting the decisions of a sovereign state. Although the Iranian perception of internal threats may be more complex, the solution lies in diplomacy, goodwill, and cooperation. These recent developments in the region have come to remind everyone once again of the importance of regional cooperation. Since, until recently, Nagorno-Karabakh remained an obstacle to most cooperation efforts between the various states in the region. Today, this obstacle is removed, and the political environment is suitable for this type of cooperation. For its part, over several years, Turkey has sought to create platforms for regional cooperation. In this context, the mechanism of Turkish-Iranian-Azerbaijan tripartite meetings at the level of foreign ministers was established in 2010. Although the date has not yet been set, it was agreed that the next meeting would be held in Tehran, what would be a good opportunity to address the issues in dispute. Soon, Turkey proposed the idea of formulating a framework for cooperation between 6 parties, including Armenia, Georgia, Azerbaijan, Russia, and Iran. Although the proposal had already been put forward, no progress had been made in its implementation. In any case, such cooperative initiatives should be encouraged, as it provides countries with a good opportunity to exchange views on bilateral and multilateral issues and explore possibilities of cooperation across diverse fields. Regional mechanisms should